Dear students, in this session we will learn about post-neural development in frog. That is, in our previous session we learned about how the formation of neural tube takes place and followed by the notogenesis and the coelom formation, and we learned the characteristic features of a neurula and also the process of formation of this neural tube, which we described as neurulation. Now, after neurulation, what are the other changes that happens to the embryo of the frog? That's what we are going to learn in this session. Now, here this picture describes lot of changes that takes place after neurulation, whether it could be the formation of oral sucker, the stomodium, the olfactory pit, or change in the body shape itself, and the formation of external gills and limbs and other changes. So let us learn all this in detail. I am Dr. Lata from Maharani Science College, Bangalore. Now once this neural stage of an embryo, it results in the elongation of the embryo. Its dorsal convex surface becomes little concave, and we also see the widening. The neural tube becomes little widened because it gives rise to the brain. Now these cells just above the blastopore, they grow backward and they form a tail-like projection, and this projection we call it as tail bud. So the embryo at this stage of development is called as tail bud larva, and it takes about 84 hours from the time of fertilization to reach into this tail bud larva. Now, inside the vitelline membrane, the tail bud larva increases in size and it develops into a tadpole. And this young tadpole hatches out of the egg, and further it undergoes metamorphosis into an adult. Now this is a section of this tailbud larva stage of a frog, and here you can see the differentiation of the brain having prosencephalon, mesencephalon and the rhombencephalon, and continuing back till the tail as spinal cord. You can see the differentiation of the gut into the foregut and the hindgut, optic vesicle, and then formation or differentiation of the heart, the visceral mesoderm and the somatic mesoderm, and foregut, midgut and the hindgut as we said, and the anus. Now let us understand how these changes occurs. Now the complete process of this post-neural development can be studied under these following headings. One is to know how the tadpole formation takes place, and then how it hatches, and what is the structure of the tadpole that is hatched out. Now when we look into the formation of the tadpole, here the tailbud larva is different from a tadpole. You can see through the pictures, this in no way resembles a tadpole. So initially it will be like this as a tailbud larva, and this undergoes changes inside the vitelline membrane so that it hatches into a tadpole. Now let us see what are structures it gets differentiated. Now if you look at this picture, you can see the formation of branchial cleft and hyomandibular cleft, formation of optic vesicles, the suckers, and myotomes and the tail bud. Now what for they require sucker? You know that tadpole is aquatic in nature and it has to go and attach to a substratum, so for that it requires a sucker, so the suckers develop. Then branchial clefts which give rise to the gills. Gills are required for respiration in aquatic environment, so they develop gills as well. So these are some of the changes that is observed. The larva elongates in its antero-posterior direction, and the body gets divided into head, trunk and the tail, and its epidermis, it forms the dorsal and the ventral tail fins, because tail need to be little muscular and it needs to have this dorsal and the ventral fins for it to move, and so that it facilitate the process of swimming. The mesodermal somites gives rise to the myotomes, and the rudiments of these first three visceral clefts appear in the anterior part of the trunk. The sucker or the rudiment appears as a V-shaped glandular pit anterior to this mandibular arch just below the prospective stomodeum, from where the mouth differentiates. And then the rudiments of olfactory pits and eyes also appear, and brain gets fully differentiated. Now once all these changes have occurred, the next thing is it should hatch out. Now at this stage the larva hatches out of the egg after about 6 to 15 days of embryonic life, and wherein the adhesive organ or the sucker is used for fixing the larva to one point on the egg membrane, and after fixing its anterior end, this larva performs movements around the fixed point, and the cilia present over the body help in such movement, and the frontal gland, which is situated anterior to this adhesive organ, that is rubbed against the egg membrane, which ultimately softens the egg membrane and helps in the process of hatching. So this tadpole larva that hatches out, it does not have mouth, it does not have eyes, and it does not have leg. So it is a mouthless, eyeless and legless creature. And this hatching time mainly depends upon the atmospheric temperature, and generally the suitable temperature or the optimum temperature for hatching would be around 30 to 34 degrees centigrade, and it hatches about 6 days after fertilization. Now once this tadpole is hatched, how does it look like? This newly hatched tadpole, it will be very small, around 6 to 7 mm in long, and it looks more like a fish. It will have dark brown or black in color and is without eyes, mouth and legs. So its body gets divided into head, trunk and tail. Now what do you see in the head? Head will be quite large. Excuse me. Head is quite large. It has rudiments of eyes, olfactory and auditory pits and the mouth. But distinct mouth is not developed as yet. On the ventral surface of the head is a cement gland and a pair of suckers, which is used to adhere the larva to the leaves of aquatic plants, because as a tadpole it will be feeding on these aquatic plants and leaves, because it will be herbivore in nature. Now when we discuss about the trunk, this trunk bears 3 pairs of visceral clefts at the junction of the head and the trunk, and these develop into external gills. The rest of the trunk and tail has these V-shaped myotomes, and the depression present at the junction of the trunk and the tail marks the beginning of the proctodium, that is the formation of anus. And tail will be very small, which possess a notochord, nerve cord, the myotomes and the blood vessels. And once this tadpole is hatched, since this tail has the notochord to support the myotomes or the muscles which strengthen it, it has a supply of nerve cord and the blood vessels. They help in swimming movement. Now this describes the early stage of larval development. Now the late larval period, that can be studied under 3 stages: external gill stage, the internal gill stage and the limb stage. Now in external gill stage, what happens? Shortly after hatching, finger-like external gills develop on the posterior side of the head, and these constitute the respiratory organs. Whereas in internal gill stage, with the opening of this a series of visceral clefts, they develop as perforations in the pharyngeal wall, and their wall becomes folded to form internal gills. And in limb stage, after 2 to 3 weeks of larval stage, limb bud appears, and that stage we define it as limb stage. Now let us learn like what all changes that happens during the external gill stage. Now these diagrams explains you the changes that is seen in case of at this external gill stage. You can see the formation of proctodium, The mouth gets differentiated with horny jaws. Yeah, all these changes occur simultaneously. Like the proctodium is formed by invagination at the junction of this trunk and the tail, and this grows inside and finally joins the archenteron, and its opening to the exterior forms the anus. The stomodium begins as an invagination on the ventral surface of the head just in front of the suckers, and the stomodium also gets connected with the archenteron, completing the formation of alimentary canal, and its opening forms the mouth. Thereby the alimentary canal will become complete, starting with mouth and ending with anus. The mouth develops horny jaws bearing strong rasping papillae or the teeth, which are present in several rows, because the larva is now able to scrap vegetable matter and chew leaves, and as it feeds on the herbivore diet. External gills grow out as feathery outgrowths just behind the head. In the beginning, there are two, but then they become three on each side after some time, and these correspond to the third, fourth, and the fifth visceral arches. In this stage, the larva is called external gill stage. In the diagram towards your right hand side, you can see the external gill stage, which is present as a feathery like appearance at the junction of the head and the trunk region. The tail bud elongates and forms a full-fledged tail. The skin along its dorsal and ventral sides form a tail fin, and this tail performs as a powerful swimming organ. Olfactory pit becomes more prominent and eyes become fully developed. The gut becomes much elongated and coil-like becomes coil-like. This causes bloating of the abdomen, and it gets differentiated into pharynx, esophagus, stomach, and the intestine. Liver and urinary bladder also gets formed, and the pronephric kidneys becomes fully developed and functional. These are the changes that we see during external gill stage. Now in internal gill stage, what happens? Till this, the larva in the external gill stage, it swims actively by its tail, it feeds on aquatic vegetation, and it increases in size. Then the external gills will be present only for a short duration, and they will be soon replaced by the internal gills. About 28 hours after the formation of external gills, the skin between the external gills starts invaginating, and it finally joins the pharyngeal wall. Thus, four branchial gill clefts are formed on either side, and the gill filaments develop along the anterior and the posterior edges of each branchial cleft. Now these filaments become highly vascularized, and hence they result in the formation of internal gills. And the opercular fold appears from the sides of the head just behind the hyoid arches, and in front of gills as double fold of skin. Now it grows backward over the gills completely, enclosing them inside this opercular chamber. The opercular chamber projects out as a siphon on the left side and opens outside by a spiracle. Now simultaneously what happens? The external gills disappear. At this stage, the tadpole respires like a fish. It takes water through the mouth, bathes the gills in pharynx and the opercular chamber, and it comes out through the spiracle. Now at this stage, it comes out through the spiracle. Then the suckers and the cement gland, they also disappear. There's a typographical error here. Suckers are lost at the same time. Cement glands is also, it should be disappear. Cement gland disappears, not appears. Please make a note of it. Cement gland disappears. And the lateral line sense organs develops, since it will be aquatic in nature. And then the tail become laterally flattened, and with dorsal, ventral, and the caudal fins. And at this stage, the tadpole is about 10 to 15 mm long, and it appears like a fish having laterally compressed body, tail fin and lateral line sense organs, and it swims and breathes like a fish. So just make a note of this typographical error. Cement gland disappears. It should not be appearing. Suckers and the cement gland are lost. Then the third stage, that is the limb stage. Here after 2 to 3 weeks of free larval life, the limb bud appear in the tadpole. The hind limb buds are formed first as small stumps on each side of the cloaca, and then the forelimb buds are seen later because they remain under this opercular fold and it takes some time for it to um, pop out. So it is seen later. So these changes describes the late larval period of the tadpole development. And later this tadpole undergoes the process of metamorphosis so that it can form a adult frog. So these are the reference materials. Now here are few questions to answer. Post-neural changes like elongation of embryo, widening of neural tube and formation of tail bud results in the tail bud larva. Tadpole larva hatches out of the egg is, it has mouthless, eggless, legless and eyeless. So the right option is all the above. Then the structure of tadpole is represented by head with rudiments of eyes, auditory pits and cement glands and suckers, trunk with 3 pairs of visceral clefts, both A and B and none. The right option is C, both A and B. The following events represents hatching process in frog. Adhesive organ fixes the larva to the egg membrane and larva performs movement around the fixed point. Both A and B and none. It is both A and B because once it fixes, it rotates and then it hatches out. The late larval period in frog is represented by external gill stage, internal gill stage and limb stage, and all the above. The right option is all the above. So I hope you understood all the changes that happens post neurulation, and thank you for listening. For any queries, you can email me at this ID vlatadamodaran@gmail.com. Thank you.